Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Stryftek, and I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. Is it worth your time? On trial today, Routine. Made by Lunar Software, a small independent games company in the UK, Routine is their first and only game. It's a first-person sci-fi horror that might vaguely look familiar. We actually had trailers for this game all the way back in 2013, and truth be told, it hasn't changed a lot from what we can see. So did 13 years result in a fine, aged game, or just an awful mess? Let's dive in.
We started this journey together. Chasing the unknown, seeking what we could not see. But now, we're lost.
You awake alone in a room. There you find some documentation explaining how you were hired as a software engineer tasked with debugging the ASN software. However, as you walk out of your room, you find yourself alone and everything in a state of disarray. You quickly come to learn that you are in an outpost on the moon and things are not going well. Due to a lunar earthquake, the ASN software seems to have gone haywire and all the assistant robots are murdering everybody. Your task now is to survive and shut the system down. And of course, there is more to this story. It's your typical horror sci-fi trope, but it was still pretty good. It stayed grounded in what it was and ensured the key plot points didn't lose themselves. At least that's what it did for the first half of the game. The second half of the game really starts to lose itself. Enemies turn into nothing more than nuisances, the puzzles are boring and tedious, and the story tries to go deep, but ends up drowning. I think I understand where it was trying to go, but it just didn't make it there. I was hoping against hope that the ending would really tie things together and make everything worthwhile, but it just frustrated me more. Now, as a software engineer by day, I can tell you that nothing in this game is actual software engineering. You're running around finding door passcodes left behind on post-it notes, using a UV light scanner to follow footsteps, crawling through vents to get the items you need, all while avoiding these deadly killer robots. And honestly, it was a ton of fun for about the first hour or so. You start off with absolutely no instruction. No HUD, no quest markers, nothing. You have to read what's written around you and take time to interact with everything to really figure out what's going on. I think the best example of this is at one point the panel asks for your ID, and after looking around the room and being unable to find it, I found a note mentioning that it's on the armor. I looked down and there it is, just right across my chest. And this really sets up what the game is going to be like. And that's then reinforced when you find the ARC device. This is a multifunctional tool that lets you do various things, interact with terminals, shoot robots and stun them, save your game, and even be a flashlight later. But all of that functionality needs to be manually toggled by you. So when you tap R to hold up the gun, you then have to choose which buttons to press on it. And doing that while a robot's trying to kill you is pretty thrilling. But after about the first hour ago, the game starts to stagnate. At first you're frustrated you could only carry one pack of batteries with you at a time, only to realize they are all over the place and you never have to worry about ammo. And since you don't have to worry about ammo, that means the robots stalking you are also a non-issue. Couple of quick shots, they're stunned, and you just walk away. Then you have the puzzles, which start off pretty good, but end up just getting overly tedious. In the second half of the game, there is this power puzzle where you have to activate the power to certain places, and it just turns into a tedious backtracking chore of going back and changing the power, and then going forward and grabbing something, and then going back. It felt like it was just to fill the time. Someone said the game needed to be 5 hours long, so they added this awful puzzle or something. What needed to happen was an evolution of the initial gameplay loop. More upgrades and uses for the ARC gun, more robots and different types, and a complete restructuring of the second half's puzzles. As you've seen, this game looks really good. And honestly, I typically hate the look and feel of games like this. Sort of the retro, futuristic 80s sci-fi look. What always happens is they put more of an emphasis on the look and they screw up the mouse movement and the FOV. But here, everything was perfect. Though there was one thing I couldn't figure out. Before these robots went rogue, they were helpers, assistants. And I don't know who designed these, but these things are scary. Imagine walking into your house and seeing this thing doing your dishes. Besides that complaint, everything else in the game did look great. The soundscape is solid and familiar. It's what you'd expect from a moon-based survival horror game. You could probably close your eyes right now and imagine it and you'd be dead on. I do want to circle back and mention one thing that I sort of touched on before, and that's the UI, or lack thereof. There isn't one, and yet it still feels so intuitive. You easily pick up an object, look at it, turn it around, read what's on it, and figure out what to do next. And the analog usage of the multi-tool feels as good as it looks. It's refreshingly immersive and one of the game's strongest design decisions. So, is it worth your time? Maybe. It'll take you about 5 hours, and the first 90 minutes are going to be fantastic. After that, it's going to start losing its appeal, and by the end of it, you're just wondering what could have been. On Steam, it's $25, and at that price, I can't recommend buying it outright. There are far better games you could get at that price. I'd say wait for the $10 to $15 range, depending on how much you enjoy sci-fi horror. If you happen to still have Xbox Game Pass, it is on there for free, and at that price, it's totally worth jumping in and playing it for a bit, seeing how you like it, and then coming back and arguing with me about it in the comments below. It isn't a bad game, but after 13 years of cooking, it just should have been so much more. My name's been Stryftek, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, by all means, click that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on Is It Worth Your Time?